It seems skeptics are ignoring the obvious in big UFO cases. Now, I'm a skeptic on the whole alien UFO conspiracy nonsense, but there's a lot of things in certain particular UFO cases that when I go to explain it in a mundane way, their solution for it is really, really, really badly designed and doesn't fit what people have seen, and they don't even care. Famous case in Belgium in the 1990s, people start seeing triangle-shaped UFOs, black triangles they call them, giant things, hundreds of feet across, moving silently or very quietly through the air. 3 lights on the side of an equilateral triangle, a red light right in the center, hovering, which planes can't do, and moving off at ridiculous speeds, maybe. I'm not sure about that last detail. But seriously, I read about this case on UFO Hunters, briefly mentioned it, so I started looking at a documentary about it. I didn't watch all of it because I couldn't find all of it on YouTube. So just before I find this documentary, I found this Skeptics site arguing that these triangle-shaped UFOs are nothing but misidentified landing lights of planes or a helicopter. And the Skeptic site went into crazy detail saying how what they saw was possibly a blimp or a helicopter or a plane, even though there's no way in hell a plane that close, because these things were like 50 feet up over the person's head, according to the report. There's no way that planes would be that close and not be heard. They were saying it made a motor-like noise, possibly, or it was silent. There's 2 different variations of that report. A skeptic cut out several reports of triangles just to fit his theory. He was cherry-picking as bad as the believers do sometimes. And the crazy thing is, there's actual footage of this UFO on YouTube, and I looked at it, and there's no way in hell it's a plane. And I don't know where they got the helicopter thing from, because if a helicopter's right on top of you, it would be deafeningly loud. You would hear it so loud you'd be thinking, helicopter! And there's no way a cop would mistake a helicopter for a UFO when he can hear it when it's right above his head. If a helicopter is within 2 miles of you, you can hear it. And I know this because I hear helicopters. I heard one yesterday, and it was a good 500 feet away, and it was loud. Okay? It was loud. If it's right on top of my house, it will be very loud. But it seems like the skeptics are ignoring this obvious stuff that doesn't fit their theory and cherry-picking around it. In the Phoenix Light case, when a huge V-like craft came across, they completely ignored the testimony of the people who said it blocked out the stars and used that to prove there was just planes. Conveniently excused by a guy from a telescope which showed up conveniently later. Now, I'm not sure it was planes or not. I'm on the fence on that case. But definitely the Belgian UFO case was a UFO. There's no way it was a plane. I looked at plane light signatures. They claimed that the only footage of this UFO as a video was just a plane landing. Now, I looked at the footage of this UFO. It looked nothing like a plane light signature. And a UFO signature was like this. 1 light here, 1 light here, 1 light here, white light, 1 red flashing light right in the middle of the triangle. A plane has a light here, a light here, a light here, and a light down here, and a red flashing light right behind the first light. You can easily tell it's a plane because of the flashing light that's not in the middle of it. It doesn't form an equilateral triangle. Now, the case is still very suspect, but that whole crazy idea that they were seeing a plane doesn't make sense. You would hear a plane. An electric engine noise is not what you hear when a plane is right on top of you. It's not. There's no way you can misconstrue a helicopter either because it's definitely loud. And the footage I saw of it proves it's a UFO. It's not a plane. I haven't really analyzed it, but I will. But eventually I'm going to go through it and show that this is just complete bunk. And I've said the things about Mothman, how they completely ignored it and it took off like a helicopter and tried to say it was in a sandhill crane. Skeptics are idiots. They have a right to be skeptical. I'm very skeptical of the whole aliens on Earth theory. But I know UFOs are real. And I know there's things that can't be explained by mundane things out there. Because I've seen them. Okay? I've seen them. And I guess what determines you become a skeptic or believer is whether you see something that can't be explained in any normal way at all. I have. Just trust me. I have seen them. So, I can't believe they're saying stuff like this. I really can't believe it. I'm glad I'm not a skeptic. I'm not really a believer. I'm kind of like in the middle between the skeptics and the believers. I don't believe that the UFO cases are proof of alien visitation, but I don't discount them either. I don't think they're just planes. Some other guy on another forum was mentioning how the only photo in this Belgian case was a hoax, and it is. He's then saying that people were filming a bunch of planes and calling them Triangle UFOs on YouTube, even though the actual film of a Triangle UFO looks nothing like a plane on YouTube. I've seen footage of Triangle UFOs. Even once during daylight, they look nothing like a plane. You will be able to tell the difference between these and a plane, even at night. I've heard 2 reports of a Triangle UFO in Rhode Island. This year and last year. The person said it had a big black underside, and they could see the surface of it, even at night. There's no way in hell it was a plane. So people are saying that all the footage of Triangle UFOs are really planes? They're idiots! They're complete idiots! This is just a rant, but honestly, I'm just really pissed off at this, but they could just mention such a mundane theory that doesn't fit the case and say it does. Common sense says it won't. Triangle UFOs, in my opinion, are planes, but they're secret aircraft. That's just what I think. But I just had to bring this up. I know this was a long, annoying rant, but I felt like it. Honestly.